dearlings! This video is the first in a series where I'm going to tackle color and color theory. I consider myself a color novice, but also kind of a color theorist to a certain extent, which basically means I love to read about color theory, but my practice in the actual mindful exploration and application of it is pretty minimal. So there are lots of different exercises you can do to explore different areas of color theory, some of which I'll be doing in further videos, but the best place to start is by making a color chart so you understand your paints and what they can and can't do. I have a Winsor Newton Cotman set, which is student quality and has 12 colors. Making a mixing chart is so important. It helps you see how to get the colors you want without trying to recall exactly how you got that color the last time. So I have 12 colors, so I create a 13 by 13 chart. The reason being, if I didn't leave room for a diagonal line down the center, I'd have a whole row that was literally just the original 12 colors again, because you can mix the same color with itself and get a different result. This set does come with a Chinese white. There's also people who don't like white in their watercolor sets, preferring to use the paper itself for any pure white and replacing the pan with something more useful. I've heard that with some paints, mixing it with white can result in a slightly more opaque color or even a more pastel option, so we'll see how this one performs on that front. So right now I'm laying out the original pigments, one along the top and one along the side, both the same. This way I can follow them down to find their mix. You've probably already noticed that even so, I'll be getting two of the same colors, one on either side of the diagonal, which if I was using equal mixes would be true. So I decided the colors to the left of the diagonal I'm mixing with the idea that the initial color takes precedence with about 30% of the second color mixed in. The colors to the right are an opposite with about 30% first color and the rest being the second color. You don't really start to see a difference, to be honest, until I start getting out of the warmer tones. While I'm painting with the Chinese white, I am noticing I'm getting lighter colors, but to get the very light, almost pastel look, I would probably have to be a lot more heavy-handed with the white in the onset. The yellows I have, which are cadmium yellow and cadmium pale hue, are basically interchangeable. I don't see much reason to have both since they're so similar, so if I was going to customize this set, I'd start by replacing one of those. I'd probably replace it with permanent rose or something similar because I'm not thrilled with my red options either. Let's talk a little bit about basic color theory and how the set is going to challenge that and why. So most of us learned that there are three primary colors pretty early on. These colors are red, yellow, and blue. Mixing these together gives us a set of secondary colors, orange, green, and purple. Then anything mixed from these 6 colors becomes a tertiary color. To mix tertiaries and not get mud, you have to have a good idea of the pigments you're working with, and they have to be relatively pure. Getting gray or brown when you expected something completely different is a good indicator that a color you thought was pure is actually a secondary or tertiary pigment in and of itself. I get this pretty early in this set when working with blues in relation to the yellows specifically. The 2 blues in this set are ultramarine and cobalt. Of course, the ultramarine is synthetic, but if you are interested to know, originally this pigment was made from grinding up ultramarine stone found naturally and was one of the most expensive pigments in the world. The clothing of royalty and saints was sometimes painted with ultramarine to signify their importance in a piece. In the 19th century, a way was developed to synthesize the color, which is what you usually find in pigments today. Cobalt is the result of more paint synthesizing experiments as well. As I'm painting and watching the blue and yellow mixes dry, I'm noticing that almost exclusively I'm getting a lot of pigment separation. Instead of staying the color I painted originally, the colors are separating as they dry and they're creating a strange tie-dye effect, which might be fun if intentional but isn't, so it's not. I only get this very badly with the cadmium yellows, however, and all other mixes following, while not perfect, are a lot better. The alizarin crimson in this set, which is the orangey red, is a dream to work with. At this point, I can definitely point out some of my favorite colors. The alizarin crimson is so pigmented and shocking. It mixes well with everything I try. Viridian hue is also another great color in this set. It's as easy to work with and vibrant in the same way. I would say the biggest disappointment is probably the burnt umber so far. Burnt Umber is such an important color to have in a set, and the consistency of this one is strange. When I add water to it, it breaks up into very small pieces, almost like coffee grounds. I have to mix it relentlessly to break it down in water, and even then I get some granule separation as it's drying on the page sometimes. One of the biggest surprises I get in this set is that when I'm mixing the vibrant sap green a little bit later with the equally vibrant ultramarine, I get a subdued bog water-like color. Mixing these with Viridian gives me a much more expected result, as you can see. And that is the whole chart. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, please let me know, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye!